All right, Ivan, how are you today?
Very good, very good. Good day, Stuart.
Enjoying the long
How's everything going?
weekend?
Enjoying the young weekend. Yeah, it's just nice to have a bit of a break before the holidays.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a pity that it has been a little bit cold here in Madrid. Hopefully, you have a better time there in the south in Almeria.
Yeah, weather was very good down there. 19 degrees every day, mild temperatures, and
Nice, nice.
it's a completely different world because you've seen the north of Spain at the moment, Ivan. The probably even in Cantabria, it's snowing.
Yeah, yeah. I have been talking to my family. It has been raining pretty much the whole week.
Mm.
We have seen the Agencia Meteorológica has raised some warnings for
Yeah,
people that has been traveling and going to the north. At the DGT as well,
yeah.
the DVLA, the traffic public body that is saying, please come back. You are trying to drive back to your cities
Yeah,
of normal
yeah,
residence, and you are in the north,
yeah.
come back earlier because it's expected like heavy snow and very bad weather conditions. So, you are out
That's
there,
it.
just be careful.
That's it. Because when you travel to the north of Spain, one of the characteristics is that you have to go all over a lot of these mountain passes, what they call
Exactly.
puertos here in Spain.
Puertos.
That's
Eso
it.
es, puertos.
And that's it. And if you don't have the correct tires on your car or chains, you can get into trouble.
Yeah, you can get into trouble, and it's a recurrent thing, especially during this time of the year. I think usually we expect, or the common theme in the past years has been from Christmas onwards. The weather gets much worse, but you never know when you are going to
Yeah.
be hit by a a strong storm and getting into snow. And again, it's not an easy way to drive in those conditions,
No,
and
not
it can be in
easy.
the middle of the night.
That's it.
It could be that the machinery in charge of removing the snow is not in the area that you are going to go through. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you have to be careful out there and be prepared and be ready.
That's
Or
it.
is the
That's it.
the English people out there, probably it will be like everywhere in the Anglosphere,
Yeah.
says if you are not, you fail to prepare, you should be ready to fail.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh,
right.
what's that?
Plus, it's given it's a long weekend, we can imagine that a lot of people take holidays, a lot of people travel, and also when it comes to emergency services, maybe they are working on a skeleton stuff. I don't know,
Hmm.
but you never know. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to be the one that also, go to a hospital in worst case scenario. But on Christmas Day, you go on Christmas Day, or in the Noche Buena
Yeah,
or in Noche Vieja, you cannot expect the best of the attentions because, as you say, people tend to be at home, so you will find basic stuff around there. So, but that
well,
that will be something that you will
well
get
that
in
well
any
that's it.
country, really.
Even somebody I know who's been admitted to hospital recently, there's no, it's not the normal staff at the major hospitals in Madrid. A lot of the main doctors have taken the time off, and they're left with as I said, skeleton staff. So you got to be careful this time of year.
Exactly, exactly. So watch out.
Exactly. Now, what's on the agenda today, Ivan?
Yeah, well, we have a main topic. I think we haven't mentioned too much when I at the very beginning of our talks that I was living in the UK
Yeah.
and I moved here to Spain. We get around the rental, we get around the paperwork, etc., etc. But I think one of these aspects that probably we didn't touch too much, it was how do you bring your stuff here to Spain? Well, this, how do you
Yeah.
circumnavigate all this, revenue and paperwork?
Yeah.
Because now coming from the UK and especially after Brexit, you come from a third party country, so
Yeah.
you cannot bring everything that you want as if, I don't know, you just chuck everything in the car from France, for example, you
Mm.
cross the border, you arrive home, happy days, and
Yeah.
it's slightly different. So
Yeah.
hopefully my experience could help everybody out there. I'm,
Well,
I'm, I'm sure.
yeah. Sorry.
Go on. No, no, I'm sure that the agencies and you are coming from I don't know, Canada or Australia or anything like that, you are not going to bring
Mm.
much apart from your suitcase,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But if you come from the UK, You come from America and you have quite a lot of stuff and belongings, and you are coming to Spain or to European Union to that extent for a long period of time. Maybe you want to bring most of your stuff. So you know, it's important to know a little bit what is included, what is not, what can you do, what you cannot do, or what you are going to be charged for apart from the transport itself.
Well, that's right. Well, when people move here, let's say, for example, they get transferred here and their companies pay for the move, okay, there's no problem. You bring whatever you want to bring sometimes, right? If the company's footing the bill. But if you have to pay it yourself, I mean, I've known people that have basically left their previous life behind and started from scratch. They come here. That's it. That they rent an empty flat. They buy they buy an empty home, of course, and you buy new couches, you buy new curtains, everything from scratch, basically, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and absolutely, you can do that, and maybe in some scenarios it might be a much more economically reason, really, that it could be more viable than bringing everything with you.
Because I mean, from the UK, we're not expecting long transport times, but coming from Australia, Canada, the USA, maybe if you send stuff via ship, you could be waiting a long time as well.
Yeah. Before I actually moved to Spain from the UK, I have a couple of friends moving from Sydney to London, and I think that they were waiting like 3-4 months. And this was, I would say, February, March this year. Now with all these logistic nightmares that we are experiencing, we're not talking about personal belongings. We are talking about major container ship that has been delayed. We have seen the images out there. In fact, if you follow the Radio Televisión Española, there have been an episode of Comando Actualidad. It's like a review interview program in the public channel. They have been talking about this logistic nightmare, how the shipping containers, they are not in the right ports. There have been delays to unload those containers to the right ports. It's been a nightmare.
A nightmare at the moment. That's it. Good. So what did you do with your move, Ivan? What are some of the tricks that you've learned?
Well, tricks, the thing is that because I moved quite quickly after Brexit happened, there was quite a lot of things that they didn't know, basically. And I contacted different agencies. Pretty much I was going to be like the first move after Brexit happened. So they didn't know much of the
So when was this? In January, was it?
No. We moved around April, May, but again, because of the pandemic, there was not much movement, etc. I found one company that actually did know a little bit better than the other ones, because I think I contacted 4 people for different companies. For those 4 companies, 3 of them, I was pretty much like the guinea pig. Well, we will pack. Let's see what happens. I said, but you cannot give any kind of reassurance about what is going to happen. Obviously, they will control the packing and the unpacking, but the transit times, customs clearance, they cannot say anything about that because they didn't have the experience. And back at that time, there was not much of a communication in that regard. Even nowadays, I send you an email during the week. I receive a package from Australia, and I have been charged again for the custom clearance from Correos. So
well, that's it. Yeah, they're waiting for people like you to send stuff over so they can make their make their budgets. That's it.
Exactly. So one of the things that I did, again, try to go through one that has the experience, but the other thing, and how do I see that they have the experience, or at least they know what they're talking about, is because they know about the franquicias por traslado de residencia. Okay, you can put a screenshot of the website from the Agencia Tributaria, and basically, if you want, or if you have a van, or if you have the logistics arranged by yourself, you don't need to have an agency to back you up. Okay, you can do the declaration of your belongings here. There's a couple of caveats to this. Okay, you have to be a resident out of Spain or in the origin country for more than 12 months before the actual move to Spain. Talking about Spain because that's where we are all interested in this channel, but I think pretty much the same will apply throughout the EU, okay, the European Union. And then you have to declare that you are not gonna sell or do any kind of profit with those items in the next 12 months until you bring them to Spain. And if not, you have to inform the Agencia Tributaria. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a little bit of a
because that's one of the things they're looking for, that you bring stuff in and then you sell it here. You don't pay the VAT or the IVA, and basically they're trying to stop this type of thing where people are buying things in the UK or outside of the European Union and not paying the duties that they should be paying, right?
Exactly, and the thing is that what you are trying to do following this procedure is that you are not going to pay custom duties or VAT, in fact, for your own belongings.
That's it.
I have seen
this is the
in
point.
This channel, exactly. I have seen in this channel many comments that people say, I have bring tools to do some work in my second residence in Spain, and I have been basically to complete the custom form. But doesn't matter what you explain to the Agencia Tributaria. They don't know if you are going to bring those tools.
Well, they don't know and they don't care,
yourself.
Basically.
Correct. And there's like, well, this is something that is coming into the country. Now, talking about the UK, obviously, you come from Ireland, it's not going to be the same thing. You are exactly, there's no problem. So you come from the UK, they don't know anything, and you come from the UK, and they're gonna charge you as if you are gonna make a profit out of it. Okay, that's it. Even though they are your own belongings, even though they are gonna come to Spain because you are permanently moving here, and this is one of the key words for this form. You are permanently moving here. You have to provide also evidence that you have left either your property there, or with a clause from your rental if you are renting, or from the mortgage, or some kind of declaration. I put, for example, the council tax that I have been paying for the previous year, and then a letter of my employment that it has ceased in the UK. I'm sure you can get some other things like that, paperwork to make sure that you show to the Spanish government that you are moving permanently here. And then the other thing to show that you are here, because and the trick is, in my point of view, is like you have to pack and then you have to put your stuff in some kind of storage in the UK. And I'm going to talk specifically about this example for a while. Why? Because one of the paperwork that they are going to be asked in the Spanish customs is proof that you have moved here permanently. How do they know that? It's because they request some sort of paperwork. So one that is valid for foreign people or third-party citizens is the padrón. So you have request the padrón is because you are living somewhere, okay, and then you will have like a rental agreement or something like that. And the other one is the request of your NIE or the TIE now, okay? So
NIE or TIE card, okay.
Correct, exactly. So basically that you have legalized your status here as a resident, okay? So that's what I said before the staff basically crossed the border to Spain. If you want to get this paperwork done, basically in the grounds of it's your belongings that you don't want to pay more VAT or import tax, you have to have those things in time. And obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get that things done. So you are looking at least to pay for storage, maybe, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, until at least you have fly in or move in and find something, get the paperwork done, get the ball rolling, basically. So that is the trickiest bit, I think.
Yeah, it's a tricky issue, but as I said before, the customs agency or the Agencia Tributaria, they don't care, whether you're the example that you gave with the tools, right? So imagine you're a tradie, you bring over your tools and you get slapped 21% VAT or IVA on those, and because the first thing they're thinking is that you're going to sell those when you get here and make a profit and then not pay the correct VAT, right?
Correct.
So justos por pecadores, as you would say in Spanish, right?
Exactly. And potentially, imagine that you are just gonna following that same example. You are gonna come back to the UK with the same tools because you have done whatever work you have to do in your own property or your friends or whatever you want. Potentially coming back to the UK, you might face exactly the same situation because you are coming from a third party country into the UK with certain assets, even if they are tools, but they can stop you, and if they stop you, well, you are bringing this into the country and you have to pay.
Well, exactly right. That's it. Yeah. So I mean, even if you bring your bicycle in, they can slap 21% tax on that bike. That's it.
Correct. I have been talking when I was getting some quotes for this. They say basically if they stop by customs, and even though you have your own stuff, furniture, you name it, they can charge you up to 33% of the value. And the value, you have to do a value declaration and the items declaration, but they can just do their own calculation based on the internet. So even the telly is, 4 or 5 year old, and now maybe they have a residual value of, 20% of this original value. That's what you say. Whatever the Agencia Tributaria decide could be a completely different thing. So you have to be careful with that as well.
Well, obviously, we're talking about moving here and bringing all of your stuff in, but you said before that you got something sent from Australia, which I imagine was a gift, right?
Yeah, it was a parcel from a couple of friends, Nick and Tiff. Thank you so much. A couple of t-shirts and pretty much Aussie goodies, Christmas card. That's another thing that we can talk about. Just basically some Christmas stuff. There was no.
It cost you €10 to get it, basically, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So we're talking about here. So we're talking about people in Australia had bought the gift. They've put it in the post, paid the postage in Australia, gets to Spain.
Bang. The postage in Australia actually was €68.
$68. Okay, so not cheap. And then when it gets here, bang, you get slapped an extra 10 to be able to get it, no? To be able to pick it up.
Pretty much, because Correos is acting as a custom broker, and basically the first thing that the postman asks is like, you have a package from Australia, do you want to take it or not? So if you reject it, obviously, I don't know, maybe they will destroy it, or God knows what they will, do with it. Yeah. So God knows. And then basically, as again, we have been, it's a recurrent topic in the channel. We have been talking about this for a couple of times. You have to pay, you want to get it, and that's it.
Yeah. This didn't used to happen. It's only a new thing. This is only something that's been happening since internet commerce has taken off, or at least it didn't happen to me before. I remember my mother used to send me things without any problems at all. They would come in, you'd get your Christmas package every year. You'd go to the post office and pick it up, T-shirts, whatever, other gifts. And no questions asked. And then all of a sudden, because of the internet phenomenon, I imagine, and people declaring everything as a gift, so you would buy something from China. Oh, no, this is a gift from my uncle in China, and the customs got onto that fairly quickly, and now everything that comes through basically is being slapped with a tax.
And as you say, probably they are not going to reject any single opportunity that they can to get some money into the piggy bank. So
no, that's the question. But it's as I said before. At least that's the idea that I have, that it didn't happen before. I can't remember having to pay this until at least maybe 5-6 years ago, when it started to become quite common. Or a little bit, maybe a little bit longer, I don't know. But anyway, all right, good. So that's the experience. So make sure that you get all the paperwork done, and cross your T's and dot your I's, as they say, right?
Exactly. And another one, there is a list of forbidden items that you cannot put, even if you carry by yourself or
firearms,
you give it to an agency. well, that was the obvious ones, but there's other ones that they are not as obvious. So, for example, perfumes and colonies, because they have alcohol, the agency recommend me you should put it in your luggage, and you should put it in the plane, because by car and batteries as well, like laptops. We are not talking about I don't know, a 9-volt battery from a car that it has acid and all sorts of things inside there. We are talking about even AAA or AA batteries. They refuse that. Okay, so just be careful. And alcohol, I have a nice little collection of whiskeys back there in the UK that I have to donate.
Oh, really?
Because I cannot put it in the move, basically.
So because they classify them as flammable, do they?
Yeah, as a flammable or something that basically on the luggage you cannot carry, I think, more than a liter of like hard alcohol.
Yep.
Probably to avoid people I live in Scotland, let me bring this nice, I don't know, collection of Macallan
malt whiskies.
Exactly. And that reminds me into a interesting situation, because here the alcohol tax is much cheaper than it could be in Ireland or in the UK. So the thing is that if it is a gift, if it has a personal meaning to you, it has some kind of like collective use, you might be a slap in the face because of that. But if you are thinking, I'm going to bring alcohol, unless it's something very, very specific that you cannot find anywhere else, probably in Spain, you will be better off buying it here.
Well, that's right. Yeah, because alcohol is cheaper. That's it.
At least the tax, I would say. So I remember a friend when I was in Ireland like 12 years ago. I remember Jameson, and I'm not saying that that's my favorite whiskey or anything like that, but buying Jameson here in Spain, it was much cheaper than buying it in Dublin in their own distillery.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's it, because of the taxes. All right, good.
Correct.
Now, there was something else that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about rubbish collections.
Here in Spain?
Here in Spain, and in comparison with the rest of the countries that I have been, because I just realized how different it is here. Basically, here in Spain, they collect the rubbish every single day. And we are talking about the typical organic. Obviously, the recycling, as you know, there's different containers for different things out there on the street, so they don't collect from your doorstep.
So there's normally about, we'll put a visual picture here. There's normally about 3 or 4 bins, depending. And you've got your green one. In Madrid this is. You've got your green one. You've got your yellow one for your plastics and stuff like that. Then you've got your blue one for paper. And maybe you have another green rounder bin for glass.
Correct. That's it. So basically, that is the distribution. When I was in Ireland, for example, and again, that has been a long time, I remember that I rent a flat, and it was like the typical shop at the ground level and flats on top. So you don't really have like a bin at the street level. So what was my surprise when I had to buy some stickers from the corner shop to put on the rubbish bin, leave it there on the street at a certain time for it to be collected. So basically, that sticker is like saying you have paid the tax or the levy for that bag to be collected. Okay. And another different thing, I remember in Ireland, maybe again that could have completely changed. I remember that there were like at least 3 or 4 rubbish collecting companies. So there will be different areas from different stickers, exactly, privatized. And if you live in a residential, in a communal area that maybe you have many neighbors, you have these containers that they are being paid with a certain company that comes, and then you can put your bag down whenever you want. But if you live some kind of like a street level, and again that was in Dublin, maybe somewhere else in Ireland might not be applicable. I might get a slap in the face for that. But back then, I remember very clearly you have to get the sticker and leave it like on the lamppost, and somebody will collect it. And for example, with the UK. I was talking about last year. It was just collected once a week. It was 1 week organic, 1 week recycling, and all the recycling go into the same container, which make it much, I would say, much easier. In here, as you say, you have to have at home pretty much replicated the same structure of containers to separate things, so you can put it out in the right place.
That's it.
In the UK, you have one bag for organic or no items that you cannot recycle, pretty much, and then recycle items. And you put glass, bottles, cardboard, plastic, bricks, tins, everything together. Okay, that was like the main difference.
Once a week.
And, correct. Once a week organic, and the next week recycling. The next week organic, the next week recycling.
Yeah.
So, during winter, I didn't think too much about it. But in
smell.
summer, the smell, it was not that great. And I live in various places in the UK. It was pretty much the same experience, but depending on the temperature, obviously, and depending on the neighborhood, it might have maybe one more during the summer months, one more pickup of the rubbish during the summer months. But the good thing in Spain, I think that was the good thing anyway, that they collect here every single day.
Yeah. Well, they do
every single day.
Yeah, well, they do it in Madrid. At least they do. Normally, and where I live here on the outskirts of Madrid, they do. Maybe they don't. In maybe some areas of Spain, they don't collect every day, obviously, because every town hall is different. But you do.
That's the important thing is the town hall. It's a public thing. It's a public service. Even the town hall might have outsourced to another company, but that is something that came from the impuesto de basura.
Well, you pay your rubbish tax. That's right.
Correct. Which in the UK is pretty much everything condensed into this council tax concept. While in in Ireland, I pay for that sticker, or you pay the fee for that private company.
Well, I know here where I live, you pay basuras every year. Yeah, so you pay a yearly fee to have access to those rubbish bins, and I suppose even if you don't pay, you still have access because nobody's controlling it. But if you want to go to one of these punto limpios, which is like a recycling point, you do have to be a registered resident in the area on the Padrón, you know.
Okay. So what do? You just bring your own...
well, you have to give your DNI or your, in my case, my NIE number, and you also have to give your postcode. And so you have to be living in the area to be able to use the recycling point. So if you've got heavy rubbish, like if you want to take some furniture or maybe a car battery, or you want to recycle the olive oil, which is a fairly common thing to recycle here, you don't just leave it on the side of the street. Take it down to one of these recycling points.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's
even though a lot of people don't do it, they just throw it into the main rubbish, because you can see the stains around the bin. Well, at least where I live, Ivan, you can see the stains around the bin are definitely olive oil stains. You know.
Yeah, I think that happened everywhere else. It's not just your.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, because let's be honest. People are encouraged to recycle, but there's nobody proving that there's nobody checking that you are recycling everything. Ivan, you can chuck everything into the one bin and then chuck it into the green bin. No one's going to say anything, do you? Right? It's only your own conscience that's important.
Yeah, I think. That brings me one memory to mind. Is like in London. It was in East London, and there was this fatberg. So basically, people when they cook, and instead of olive oil, they mainly use lard there in the UK. And what they do, to my surprise, they will like chuck it through the drain.
Oh, well, that's it. That's another thing that a lot of people do here as well, which obviously you shouldn't do because that water ends up in the river system. That's it.
Correct. But what happened there in London is that they created this kind of like fat monster in the sewers, and they kind of like baptized as Fatberg. And they mentioned it was like in the newspapers and everything, because it was like a couple of double-decker buses size. So imagine what kind of
terrible waste. That's right.
Exactly. So just be mindful and chuck the things where they belong, please.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So rubbish issues, and here, like you said, you can be throwing rubbish out every day, whereas you got to be a bit more careful, let's say, and maybe in the UK and Ireland, not to fill those bins, especially in the summer months.
Yeah, indeed.
That's it. All right, good. We'll start to wrap it up, Ivan. Good speaking to
Perfect.
you again.
As always,
Interesting
Stuart.
chat about rubbish. I won't get started on what happens in Perth, where my family live, because rubbish there is very, very strict. People have, at Christmas time especially, people have serious troubles to control rubbish because you can only throw it out. I think it only comes around once a week as well, and sometimes those bins are overflowing, especially with prawns and things like that. At Christmas time, it can get fairly stinky when it's 40 degrees.
I can imagine.
That's it.
Let's not talk about this.
We
in a
won't.
different day.
But like I said, we'll wrap it up. Good speaking to you, and we'll be in contact for next week. Okay.
Perfect, Stuart.
All right.
Take
See you
care,
later,
stay
Ivan. Have a
safe.
good one. Bye bye.
Yeah.